What up, boys? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. So yes, you did read that title right. This is a discussion video on if the Kuva Nukor should get nerfed or not. It's not going to be really leaning too hard in one direction or the other, if it should get nerfed or not. It's going to be discussing basically some facts about the Kuva Nukor, and maybe, putting into perspective how strong this thing really is in the meta of the game. Alright, so let's get into it. And if you dislike this video, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I know I'm not going to be making too many friends with this one, because I know a lot of people hearing me say, hearing the word nerf and Nukor in the same sentence is enough to send people off the deep end already. Okay, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to try to just look at it from a level-headed point of view here, and just give some opinions of someone that plays the game a lot, and also plays in public matchmaking a lot. I see a lot of people in public matchmaking, of various MR levels and all that stuff in different types of missions. I play a lot of public matchmaking in this game. Let's go over the Kuva Nukor. So the Kuva Nukor is a Kuva Lich weapon. It came out early in 2020, and I believe it came on the same patch as the Kuva Brahma, and this was a patch when DE made the Kuva Liches less annoying to capture and fight. I really feel like the game was in a bad spot at the time, and they released two really powerful weapons to make people inclined to farm Liches. The Brahma being probably one of the strongest primaries we've ever gotten, and the Kuva Nukor easily being the best secondary we've ever gotten. Maybe you could make an argument that old Static Core, many patches ago, could be better than that with how it had ridiculous AoE. But I think the Kuva Nukor honestly is better for a lot of stuff. So, it came out in an update when DE basically was trying to force people to hunt Liches by making extremely powerful weapons. And if you look at it, the Kuva Brahma did get a nerf after that update, its initial release, and the Kuva Nukor has not gotten touched since. Literally, it has not. I think they might have bug fixed it, where it's the chaining attacks were doing more damage than they were supposed to. They have not touched it. It's got extremely crazy base stats of. Let's see, we got 50% base stash chance. It's a beam weapon with 10 fire rate innately. It's got 7% crit chance, which is not super high, but it's got a 5 times crit multiplier. So 7% of the time you're doing 5 times critical damage. And it's got a 77 round magazine. And it has actually pretty high range for a beam weapon as well. So this thing is honestly the king of nearly everything involving secondaries. It is the current meta weapon for Profit Taker in the secondary slot, because you can get a magnetic element. It's a Kuva weapon, so it has customizable elements. You could get any of the base elementals, any of the base elementals. Actually, yeah, any of the base elementals. You can get an impact version. You can get and a couple combined versions as well. You can get magnetic, you can get radiation, and it has innate radiation. So you can get a magnetic Kuva Nukor, which is good for the Profit Taker, very good for condition overload proccing, because you get radiation. Magnetic. It has a built-in hidden status effect of microwave, which does count for condition overload, and you can get viral and heat as well. So it's the meta for condition overload proccing, which is you hit them with a bunch of procs from your secondary, and then you hit them with a melee, and there's a ton of extra damage. It's the meta for the Profit Taker, and it honestly is it's the meta for easily just clearing through missions. As you can see in the Steel Path alert right here. I just hold on the button and the enemies are dead. I'm not even using melee right here. What other weapon is going to do this? You could maybe say some of the explosive weapons might do this, but this is the ease of use on the Kuva Nukor. I feel is just it's too hard to pass up. And whenever I make a video on a secondary, in the back of my mind and even in the forefront of my mind, I'm just this is just not as good as the Kuva Nukor. I made a video on the Catabalist the other day. I said, oh, this is pretty good for single target DPS, but it's no Nukor. The Nukor can probably just do just as good single target DPS if it needs to. And it's AoE. This thing chains and is AoE all over the place. I did the Tysus video the other day. I'm okay, well, it's not the Nukor. You have to keep pushing the trigger a bunch of times to make this thing work. So I'm trying to decide, is it the Nukor being too good, or is it these other guns being too crappy? I think honestly, the Kuva Nukor takes so much work to get in the first place. We have to fight a Kuva Lich. You have to, if you want to get a high elemental on it, you need to actually fight multiple Kuva Liches. Why is the gameplay all stuttery? Whatever. So it's a lot of work, guys. And let me tell you, as someone with 3 Kuva Nukors, I have 3 Kuva Nukors, 2 of them max roll. I understand. I don't want to get nerfed either. But I feel like it's removing player choice for me. I have a heat one, a magnetic one, and a toxin one. And I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like the customization is crazy, the stats are too high, and I feel like I'm not able to... Like, I could use something else. I could use the Kuva Stubba if I wanted to. But why would I? Like, the situation where the Kuva Stubba is useful hardly exists. The Kuva C are an extremely powerful weapon. It can one-shot level 180 enemies in the Simulacrum. Why would I ever use this? When I could use this, kill 5 enemies at once, and have great sustained DPS, have the best condition overload procer in the game, and that's not even all the stuff that it's good at, guys. Like, why would you use anything else here? I guess you could use, like, the Spore Lacer kit gun to blow a bunch of enemies up at once, but the Nukor could do the same thing as well. I guess you're looking for one singular blast of damage. That kind of thing could potentially replace it. The range issue isn't even really an issue either. People do Eidolon fights with the Kuva Nukor because you actually can kill Eidolons with the Kuva Nukor as well. So I don't know, man. Like I guess I'm just getting kind of sick of seeing everyone using this thing because it is honestly the most popular secondary I've been seeing lately. If you are like, you know the Kuva Nukor exists, you know how good it is, and you're high enough MR to obtain it, which, by the way, you can obtain it at MR5. This thing is stapled to every high MR player's hand. You never see them unequip it. I had to force myself to unequip it. I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to call for nerfs, but, like, I'm kind of just, like, sick of using other stuff, and it's too good to not use, in my opinion. What would they nerf about it? Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. And the problem with DE nerfing things, they usually nerf it too hard. I feel like, I don't know how you... I don't have a solution. I hate to be the guy saying nerf it and I don't have a solution, but what do you do to this thing? Because if you nerf one thing, let's say you nerf the crit damage. Well, people having fun with Arcane Avenger are going to be really mad, including me, because I like to use Arcane Avenger with this thing. If you change the stash chance, well, honestly, that probably wouldn't be too bad if you reduce the stash chance by like 20%, 30%. Because this thing can get like hundreds of procs in like a second. With the way that multi-shot works on beams now, you get over procs nearly instantly with how multi-shot works on beams now. Which, by the way, we have a video on the channel if you want to check out that multi-shot situation. This is actually not the proper build. But yeah, basically multi-shot applies the way that it probably should be on beam weapons, where it will give you multiple procs on that singular tick. So, maybe, I don't want them to nerf that either. Like, the thing is, I don't want them to nerf it, but they probably should. I want them to be able to use other options here, and I know I'm not making any friends with this video, but, like, honestly, when's the last time you took off? If you have a Kuva Nukor, and you know how strong it is, when's the last time you took it off? When's the last time you unequipped your Kuva Nukor? Was it to try something else out? Because I use the Icarius, but it's just suboptimal. It is suboptimal compared to the Kuva Nukor. Maybe, like I'm saying, you probably leveled something up, you probably... we're testing something out, and then you're like, oh, this isn't as good as Kuva Nukor. Because that's what every secondary video I make devolves into, I feel like. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And you might just be like, don't use the meta. Well, the thing is, this is extremely useful, and it's extremely powerful, and using other stuff, it just feels like, I could use the Tysis, sure. I could use the Tysis for condition overload proccing, but it's very inconvenient compared to the Nukor. So, I don't know, it might just be me ranting. I just want to get this off my chest. I feel like other people agree with this. The Kuva Nukor meta is getting a little bit stale, and it's... I don't know what they're going to do to fix it, but maybe reduce the damage. Like, you even use this in low-level missions, just insta-clear stuff. So, either way, guys, just want to get that idea out there to you guys. Maybe this does need to get nerfed. Maybe it's not worth nerfing it to DE because people put so much work into it. Not like that's really stopped them in the past. But, yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Sorry about the background noise. I can't control it. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.